2022, and we are going to see Iterative Macro Introduction in Alteryx. So, in the previous sessions, we have seen some of the reporting basics and PDF report, APIs, JSON, and database connectors. So, please go and watch those videos if you are coming first time in this channel. So, please like, subscribe, and comment and share your feedback as well. And let me know if there is any specific topic you wanted to understand or discuss with me. So feel free to comment and let me know. I can help you there. So already I have discussed in my previous session, like in day 27 and day 28, like what is batch macro, what is the standard macros, and what is iterative macro. So iterative macro is basically, we can say in layman terms, like you want to execute some of the conditions until the certain condition is matching, or like you want to test some of the conditions. So if you see here, I've written one, this is a comment tool, so which I'm using. So an iterative macro is a specialized Alteryx tool that runs your logic over and over again until a specific condition is met. Like for example, you want to see the sales should be greater than 1,000. So if your data set has a million of rows, so it will execute. Then on top of it, you want to create a calculated column or like one additional column, which will help you to understand like how many of the customers are buying the right product or having the huge sales, right? Or how many products are having the sales more than 1,000. So that is called like a condition, a specific condition we have set in the loop, and that is keep running until that condition is matching. While batch macro runs once for every file in a list, but iterative macro is used when the output of one step needs to be the input of the next, or when you need to loop through complex tasks like navigating multiple folders. Like until, for example, there is a folder or there is a share point, you want to read the 1,000 of CSV file. So in those cases, instead of manually connecting those files to a input data tool, so I am creating a logic or macro which will help me to execute that task, right? So that is kind of a complex task which might take a lot of time, but we can create a macro which will help us to read those files easily. So that is one just a simple example. And here also, if you see, and before creating any macro, we need two things in macro. So the first thing, if you see, this is one layout where you can see this is the input and this is the macro, and this macro is coming from nothing, from this file workflow. So what we are doing here, we need to understand. So this example is a, if you see here, number and S number, O opposite number, digit, right? Single number and the output number and the digit. So we are trying to calculate we are trying to perform some of the operations here. Like for example, we are trying to calculate some of the calculations, okay? And this is an example of like factorial example. If you are if you know, if you are aware about mathematics, so factorial example, we are trying to find the factor of 148 or those numbers, and this digit is coming here. So this is the same number what we used in the input, but now what we want this input to be produced as a dynamic. And here if you see the interface designer, it is loading all the properties, like what are the inputs, what should be the output, right? And what should be the input. And if you want some standard icon or something, you can select it. You can see the test view as well and the layout view as well, and tree view of the macro as well, and the properties, right? So let me close this and let me explain you. So here we are taking the input, and any input, like if you are bringing the out input here, input data, right? And if you right click, so you can convert this to macro input. So it will automatically change. Either you convert this into input macro, or you can go to the interface tool and you can find it across here macro input, right? You can directly bring this also. And here we are manually giving one row and there are 4 columns. And then what we are doing, we are using the append field. So what we are doing, we are trying to append all these fields into a single. So append fields, like we are using from the join. So here you can find like append, find, replace, Fuji. Already I have explained these tools, union and all. So if you are watching this video first time, you can go and watch in the channel. You can find those videos and let me know in the comment section, like if you are unable to understand how to use this append field. So append field is basically you can open the example and see what exactly it does. So it will append tool, it will add the column from the source input to every row in the target input. Each row of the target input will be duplicated for every row in the second. So what it does, like it will be joining from some of the input, and if this input is same, so you want to load the data to some target file, like from CSV file to some other file. It can be a database, it can be a data lake as well. So that is what we are doing here. So appending, and then here we are writing some of the formula. These are basics formula, but let me explain you what I'm trying to do. So here I'm trying to calculate the modular number of that particular input, and then power, that is a formula, and then some of those numbers, like I'm taking the power of this, like 2, I can say like example of 2 can be 2 into 2, so 4. So 4 plus 2 equal to 6, and then the floor of that I'm dividing that number, and then again, like if the number is greater than this number, some logic I'm calculating, and I'm taking the count of all these numbers, and then I'm using this iteration, like I wanted to extend that loop, right? So the idea of this is iterative macro is to extend those iteration. For example, if there is a file, so then we don't need all these things. So if there is a file, then the case will be different, but we will be running that file until we find out that iteration is that particular iteration or that file is matching. And if it is matching, then it is this or else no. And then apart from that, again, I'm using one filter. So I'm taking the, if it is greater than 0 and iteration count is less than count. So count is nothing but that number. Like for example, you have given 4 or 16 or in the initially. So that is the number. So if it is this, then it is producing the output here, output abbreviation. And then again, I'm creating the output. So let me run this workflow and show you how does it looks. So if you see, this is the number, this is the digit we have passed, and then it is calculating 1 to power 1. If we are changing the input, then it is going to change it again. We can use now drop down to get that, and then if check whether this number is palindrome number or Armstrong number, or if it is the power of, or if it is a factorial of that number. So what I am doing here now, I added, let me run this workflow and it will show you. So the number is 14, 14 and 14 and 3. So now if you see, it is taking the first number, the first macro input. So it is taking the number and then it is doing the sum, and then all the logics, whatever we have created here, that is what it is doing. And here there is no, like you see there are two outputs are connected. So one output for one record, another output for another record. If you are adding some more row here, like for example, let's say 15, 16, 20 and number of digit 8, and let me run this. So let's see how this output. So 15, 16, 28, this is the input. Now, after running the macro, it is taking the sum of that. So how it is doing this sum? 390626, how it is calculating? So this is calculating based on this logics, like whatever we have created. It is taking that number, and then what it is doing, it is running to that power, and then it is doing the sum. Then S number, all these logics are getting created. And if it is checking whether this number is Armstrong or not. If it is not, then no. So then it is producing the final output. So this is just a use case of iterative macro where we can use it. So I will be having some more sessions on iterative macro in future, maybe. So currently I'm just explaining the day-wise topics to understand the basic concepts and some of the intermediate level of knowledge, so that we can understand what is this macro and how it can be useful. But there are a lot of use cases you can find out over internet also, or like there are a lot of, there is nothing called the iterative macro. So you can search here iterative macro. So if you will search in the community, so here you can see like a lot of people are creating iterative macro, right? So if you click on that link, you will get an documentation from Alteryx, like how to create an iterative macro or batch macro, or if you want to learn also something, or hierarchy automation by iterative macro. So they want to, you can download and check it. It depends on like how we want to. And if you see a lot of people, they have posted their comment and solutions, like how you can, I created a batch macro and iterative macro here, and how you can read those files. So there are a lot of use cases where you can use it. So the idea of the iterative macro is like when you have to execute some of the task multiple times and you need to find out the correct result. So in those cases, you can use iterative macro. Mostly in the ETL or in PEP, while creating a pipelines in Alteryx, we don't use it. But yes, I mean, we should know like if there is something we can use and it will help us to like make the task easier, right? Or like execute the task easier and help us to drive the solution easy, right? And create a solution which can be like not, we have to take care of performance optimization as well. So I'll be going to show you in the after the next condition, after this next topic, and then again in the performance optimization session. So like how we can currently, if you see, this is not performance optimization is not there, but I will be explaining like how you can achieve the performance optimization of your Alteryx solutions as well. So thank you very much for watching this video, and stay tuned, like, subscribe and comment, share your feedback, and let me know if there is any specific topic or use case you want to discuss with me. Write it in the comment section so that I can help you. Thank you.